Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As you can see, I'm back indoors again because it is cold outside. I mean, actually cold. Although it shouldn't be fall yet, or it's not autumn yet, but I'm guessing it's just a cold spell. And I'm back to wearing turtlenecks, as you can see. Oh boy. I do appreciate the seasons in Toronto though because they're so distinct. You can literally see or sense like a change from one season to another. And for me, I found that it connects me to the earth and to Mother Nature a lot more because when you're in Thailand or in a hot country, in a tropical country, really it's just hot, 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 a little bit cold, and then hot again, right? And so really I don't find that much of a delineation except rainy season versus hot season. Maybe it gets a little cold, but not really that much. And so I really do like that, you can literally tell as soon as September hits, oh, right, it's fall is starting to come into our lives. And then, as soon as fall turns into winter, you can really tell because it gets really cold. And the same thing from winter to spring, it's brilliant. That's not the subject of this video though. So, if you're already thinking, oh my God, is she gonna talk about seasons the whole time? No, I'm not, I promise you. In this video, I really wanted to speak to you about anger and how I believe that anger is actually really a pretty awesome gift that our body and our psyche, our emotions gives to us in order to figure out, what in our life is really needs to be changed. Intense emotions in general, I think, are actually a great gift from our body's intelligence, from our psyche, from our internal processes, from our subconscious, because they carry a message with them. They carry some sort of interesting tidbit with them where they're like, I'm going to keep on poking at you with this intense emotion until you either obviously numb yourself. So, you start eating a lot of chips or sugar or you start watching a lot of TV to pretend like the emotion doesn't exist, or you actually face the emotion and you say, okay, what's going on here? Like, why are you coming up over and over again? Why are you bugging me? Like, tell me what you actually want me to do so I can do it and get rid of you. And I have been noticing, a lot of you have been noticing me probably feeling anger or ranting in these videos, or displaying anger in a way that probably you've never seen me do before. And it's probably because I was never comfortable displaying my anger in the past. I might have displayed it to myself or to my family members, my immediate family members, but never to strangers, especially not on YouTube like that. But now I'm getting very comfortable with the idea of anger. And actually, I really love the idea of anger. I'm loving being angry. I'm feeling angry and feeling the intensity of the emotion and really feeling it coming up in my body and like the way it feels in my heart and in my bowels and in my head. I'm actually just loving it. I'm really just going deep into it. And so for me, obviously, this particular bit of my life, this particular point in my life, is about being bold, being brave, and taking risks and doing some things that I would have never done before, that I would have been too afraid to do before. For example, talking about my period on YouTube to like hundreds of people, maybe even thousands eventually, right? Very shameful, in fact, for me in the beginning. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But then as I got used to it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so happy I'm doing this. The same thing with my belief systems about what's going on in the world right now and how I want to really be involved in it by bringing it up, even if it means that I get a lot of opposition and a lot of opposing views being presented to me, which is totally fine. That's how life is. But some people are actually coming up to me and saying, this is really terrible. I come to your videos because you're positive and I like your energy and I want to come to your videos to be upbeat and to be able to get rid of my negative state and suck in your positivity from your videos. So then when you are angry in those videos, it actually kind of really makes me more upset and I don't like it. And so I wanted to really do this particular video to explain, first of all, that I believe anger is actually a gift. So if you're feeling anger or any kind of intense emotion, if you're feeling anything like that, really our first prerogative, our first priority should not be, oh, I need to run away from this, which is what I've been doing my entire life. Because we're just not taught as children, as adults, as people, we're not taught in society how to deal with emotions. It's as if it's one of the most important things in the world and it comes up for everyone every single day probably, but it's not something that we're taught in our childhood. Like, no one ever talks about it. No one ever sits you down and says, okay, so there's something called emotions, and you're going to feel it, and this is how to deal with it in your body, in your mind, everything. No one says anything. If you feel anger as a child, you're just told to not feel it, or you're told to, stop being such a bad girl or bad boy, and relax and calm down, things like that. Things that you don't know how to do, so you're just like, all right, I guess I'm just going to numb myself and not feel the emotions because they're bad, right? And so really, I despise the fact that sometimes we live in a society where we're not taught the most important things, and we're taught all this useless nonsense that I'm just like, why are you teaching me this when you should actually be teaching me about how to, take care of my finances, or how to live a creative life, or how to live an authentic life, or, how to live with my emotions, or how to communicate properly. All of these different things that I should have been taught as in my childhood, I wasn't. I was not, right? So again, that's just another rant, but I do appreciate the fact that now as an adult, I can get away from my past conditioning and realize, okay, emotions are not bad. They're actually good. They are a sign or a symbol or a message from my system, my internal system, telling me that something is off in my life. Something is just not right. And the emotion is telling me that I need to look at it clearly, pay attention to what's going on, and then try to fix it maybe, or change things, or perhaps accept it, right? I mean, those are the only three things you can really do, right? And so if you're feeling angry, and I realized through my anger about this whole situation with the Black Lives Matter and the trans movement and all the stuff that's going on in the world with the environment and the pandemic, I realized that I was feeling a lot of anger with it, but what my first instinct was to suppress it. And then I was like, let's try something different. It's a different life. It's a different you. Let's try to actually feel it. And I realized that actually my anger was obviously, of course, against all of the stuff that's going on, but it was more so an anger that I was ineffective and powerless. That was where the anger was really coming from, that I was actually not able to do anything to help out my brothers and sisters who were fighting against their own sufferings or fighting against the system. I felt ineffectual. I felt powerless. I felt like an ant being crushed under the weight of an elephant's foot. And I was like, I can't do anything. I want to do something, but I feel so powerless. That's where the anger was coming from. Of course, part of it was because, oh my God, what's going on in the world? But a lot of it was, what am I doing? Why am I just sitting around? I'm not doing anything. I want to do something, right? And that's one of the reasons why I started the Rage Against the Patriarchy publication, because I was like, I really want to share my viewpoints and thoughts and you really use my power, which is communication, words, and things like that, in order to bring light to some of these issues that I'm like, this is sickening. This is disgusting. It shouldn't be happening in the world, right? So that's when all of a sudden I was able to realize, the anger was carrying a message for me, and I did what I was supposed to do, which is, started the publication, and instantaneously, almost, very quickly afterwards, my anger started dissipating. Because every single time I'd feel angry, I'd just write a post about whatever I was feeling angry about, and yes, good. Yes, I am angry about the situation, but I'm not angry about the fact that I'm not doing anything about the situation, because that's what a lot of my anger was coming from, right? Now, of course, this example I'm sharing with you, not because this is going to be the case for everyone, but the idea is to go into your intense emotions, to understand what they're trying to tell you. Whatever the intense emotion might be, it might be a deep sort of sadness, which a lot of INFJs that are on this channel feel, like a deep melancholic sadness. Why are you feeling sad? There's a lot of things to feel sad about in this world right now, unfortunately. But what is it exactly that's making you feel sad? Is it because you're not doing anything but the things that are happening in the world? Or is it because you feel powerless? Or is it because you think that you're actually one of the people who's involved in creating these problems? What is it? What's causing you to feel that intense sadness? Or, there might be intense happiness. And I mean, obviously, it's a great thing when you feel that intense bliss. But where is it coming from? What is the message? That you're doing something right now, and your life is going on the right path. And so take that message and keep on going, right? And so in general, as I said, emotions in general have messages for us, but intense emotions necessarily have a bigger message for us, something that we should really be paying attention to. But in general, as I said, we kind of run away from intense emotions. We're like, no, I don't want to feel this. It's too much. I'm just going to run away. And at points, perhaps it is too much, and I can totally empathize with that. But little by little, maybe build your system up so you can actually sit in a corner by yourself in your room and feel this intense emotion so you can do something with it. You can alchemize it and use it in order to create some change in your life. right? Because that's what your emotion wants you to do. It's not just there for a random, purposeless, meaningless thing. It's actually there for a very good reason, right? It's trying to tell you something. But a lot of us aren't listening. And so that's why it keeps on coming up over and over again. You know, why do we keep on feeling angry over and over again? It's because the message that the anger is carrying has been ignored. And so, of course, it's going to be like, well, if you're going to keep on ignoring me, I'm going to keep on coming back to you. And so it keeps on coming back to us over and over again. Eventually, hopefully, we do listen and then it dissipates, right? And something else comes up perhaps. So this is what I wanted to share with you. I hope this makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. Hard to do, easy to say, obviously. But little by little, hopefully you can start building up your resistance or your strength to deal with these intense emotions. If you have questions about this, comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. Again, thank you so much for being on my channel and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.